Well, I'm back for another video, and holy moly, I am super excited to get this thing on its way. In today's video, we're going to be unboxing and building a very special keyboard for a friend of mine. As you can probably tell from the B-roll shots, this is not your ordinary keyboard. It's a special K-pop keyboard, and the person on the box is Nayeon from Twice. His keyboard is made by Abats and Troy, and the box artwork was done by Yumiko. Okay, enough intro, let's get to unboxing this thing. Opening the box reveals a custom photo card and stickers. The quality of the extras here are top notch, so a very pleasant unboxing. Underneath the photo card is a carrying case for the keyboard. Not sure if you noticed, but everything is in a light blue. This is because light blue is Twice Nayeon's representative color. It's a pretty cool detail, so props to the designers. The carrying case is very high quality and it feels premium. It has Abats' logo on the bottom left and also includes cute zipper details. Opening the carrying case up, and you're greeted with the plates and PCB on the top portion. At the bottom, Nayeon is sitting wrapped in a very nice and soft microfiber dust cloth with the Abats branding on top. Taking out Nayeon out of its own cloth, and wow, I am absolutely astonished on how heavy and premium this board feels. The color my friend went with was blue, and oh boy, this blue is super nice to look at. The finish on this board is also very nice. It's sort of soft to the touch, which I find to be very satisfying. The amount of details on this thing is out of this world, with a ton of engravings everywhere from the creator's name to Nayeon's signature. It's pretty damn cool. There's a bit more, but we'll get into more details later in the video. So moving on to the extra little things, Nayeon came with a custom photo card and two beautifully detailed stickers. Nayeon is actually tadpole mount, which is a mount utilized on Jiyeon's Frog TKL. I've never built a board with a tadpole mount before, so this is going to be a unique experience, so I do apologize if I end up doing something wrong. So he ended up going with many different plates for this build, and he gave me free reign to choose any to build to my heart's desire. So I went with the Alu plate because Alu clack is, in my opinion, an absolute banger in terms of sound and feel. I'm pretty sure Nayeon only came with a solder PCB, and it was not available in hot swap. I could be wrong, and if I am, then I'm an idiot. The PCB is custom with Nayeon branding on the front, and the PCB designer's initials also included. Alright, let's get to building this keyboard. We're going to be building this keyboard with Milmax sockets, essentially turning this PCB into a hot swappable keyboard. The great thing about that is that if you decide that you may not like the switches of the plate, or your stabs even aren't the greatest, you don't have to go through the hassle of desoldering the keyboard just to fix or replace a few things. So my solder setup is kinda jank. I have the TS100 pencil solder, and it's actually really nice in terms of not having a ton of bulk on your desk while soldering. I think the most important thing when soldering is most definitely the solder wire. Also, the Engineer SSO2, if you know, you know. It's pretty tremendous. A goated item and a must while soldering. I will vouch for this thing until I die. What I love about the TS100 is that the unit heats up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit really quickly, and the only issue is that the plug that it comes with is a bit scary. It does spark sometimes. So this is me just prepping my solder kit and everything that I need to solder the Milmax sockets onto the PCB. It's a bit awkward, but bear it out, or if you want you can skip. There's a time lapse of me soldering the Milmax sockets in. So yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the PCB has like these crack sides, I guess, to remove the tabs that's holding the PCB. It was super sketchy. I want to admit I did use pliers. I ended up using my hand, but you know, it did kind of hurt. I really was scared to break the PCB in half. Yes, scary, but it had to be done, and I did it correctly and perfectly. Here we have the PCB. Let me put on some music and enjoy an uninterrupted minute or so of me putting the Milmax sockets in. The stabilizers that we will be going with today, provided by my friend, is a TX Stabs. These are also a must when building a keyboard, mainly because they're clip-in stabilizers, there's no screws included, and 9 times out of 10, you don't really need to do any tuning to make the stabs sound good. Just add some lube and you're ready to go. So my friend wanted to go with the S1 Peaches. These are a linear switch with an HPE top housing and a palm stem. I noticed the alu plate wasn't letting the switches sit properly, and I had to use a lot of force to get them in there. With fear that I was going to break the switches and God forbid the PCB, I decided to switch to polypropylene, and that was way better because the switches actually fit. Here are some B-roll shots of the switches on the PCB. It did take some time to solder, but it was well worth the wait and effort. Here are some more details that I mentioned earlier that are featured on this keyboard. The engraving on the back is really nice and includes a Twice logo along with the vines and leaves on the corners. This is Nayeon's signature featured on top of the arrow keys, another fantastic detail on this beautiful keyboard. Some more details and hidden things. This is also the true color of the weight compared to the last shot a few seconds ago. Doing the frog mount on the PCB was kind of weird because I've never done it before, so this is all new to me. I'm also testing the PCB before I move on to actually mounting and closing the keyboard up. I mean, I probably should have tested the PCB before soldering everything in, even the Milmax sockets, but I kind of moved backwards. I apologize. This is me removing the weight to add the wire that goes into the PCB for the daughter board. So this kit came with this thin black sheet that I think is used for sound. I added it into the board just because I feel like it'll be a nice touch sound wise. Finally, this is me mounting the keyboard into the case and getting it prepped to move on to the keycaps portion. The keycaps he chose for his build was JTK Illusion. He gave me another keycap set which was GMK Shoko, but I like the shade of blue JTK Illusion gave on the keyboard. here is finally the final shot of the keyboard with some beautiful b-roll. It's now time to move on to the sound test. I thank you for waiting for this video and watching. If you watched it all somehow, I love you. I love you guys so much. I hope to upload again soon. Bye bye. I love you guys. Bye.
Take your motherfucking head. Yes, that makes me a doctor. Hardcore violence. Please don't shoot me! I ain't no mutant! Get me out of here! Fuck, man! Not another elevator! Not after that last one!